Thank you for joining us for understanding and managing your stress as a caregiver. At the end of this presentation, you'll get an email with a PDF of this presentation and a recording. My name is Sarah. I'm a birth to five family support specialist. I'm a mother of four children. Two of my children have disabilities. I was a special education teacher for 10 years, working with students with high communication, physical, and medical needs. Um, I stopped working to support my son as he navigated early intervention and medical appointments. I love supporting families and individuals with disabilities. And in my free time, I enjoy reading books about the many perspectives of people with disabilities.
Hi, my name is Melissa Suarez. I am the mother of three children with special learning needs. My youngest uses modified sign or sign language that we ended up teaching him. I'm a registered nurse. I've been a nurse for about 20 years. I also work as a peer monitor for the Department of Education during cyclical seasoning. I have a great interest in special education law. I love working as an advocate for parents. And I also have a master's degree in healthcare administration and nursing leadership. I believe it takes a village to raise a child, any child, not just a child with specialized learning needs, but any child. And so I think, we have to build our village as big as we possibly can to get our kids the best that they deserve.
Hi, my name is Nimsi Dorville. I am a family navigator with the System Navigation Project. I'm a mom of two, a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. My 5-year-old has autism and other learning needs. And I am a family leader with C2P2EI, and I also presented at the National Autism Conference in 2023 and 2024.
So we're talking a little bit about what we do about in the Philadelphia Family Support Projects. Nimsi's going to go over system navigations.
So in systems navigations, we help families get hands-on training from peer to help them navigate the systems of care. So like that means Medicaid. We can help you walk through Medicaid. We can help you sign up for services that you may need, transportation, things like that. We can help families navigate um, their encounters with IDD and autism systems. Families will learn positive approaches to address loved ones' needs and troubleshoot challenges. And then families will feel less isolated and more connected and supported with our systems navigation project.
And then next we have trauma-informed care. So being a caregiver is stressful. We don't want that stress to turn into trauma. So we help families understand um, how to handle stress, more about trauma. We provide trainings about how to take better self-care of yourselves. There's also a limited fund for referrals for therapy, up to 3 sessions. If you want more, we can help you figure out getting more therapy, whether it's going through insurance or finding insurance. There's a support group where you get to share experiences, process your emotions, and learn coping strategies. Again, we provide peer-to-peer support, meaning that we're all caregivers of individuals with intellectual disabilities, including autism. We can be a listening ear and a shoulder to lean on. And then Melissa.
And then there's the Birth to Five project. That is the project that Sarah and I work on. We address the unique needs that parents from the 0 to 5 age range impact the most. So we see things as like helping families connect with more than just resources. We wear many hats. We explore a variety of different tasks in addition to resources. As Sarah mentioned, we are also parents of children with unique learning needs. We help families create a vision plan using the life course framework tools. We offer the peer-to-peer support to different parents, and we help them reframe their mindset towards presuming competence. So what I mean by that is when you believe that your child can, your child will try to do those things. If we don't believe that our children can, and we don't presume that competence, then our children will never get there. So by presuming competence, we want to believe that every child can do to their highest level of expectation.
Okay, so in today's presentation, we're going to talk about first how stress impacts us, and then we're going to go to how we can take care of ourselves. So first, we're going to start with how stress impacts us. So stress is how we react when we feel under pressure or threatened. It usually happens when we're in a situation we don't feel that we can manage or control. So there's four major types of stressors. There's time stress, anticipatory stress, situational stress, and counter stress. So time stress this is a type of stress. It's associated with the pressure of time or the lack of it. So when under this type of stress, individuals often find themselves fixating on their deadlines and volumes of work. This fixation usually uses a lot of their focus and energy. Anticipatory stress. This is stress about future events. When it's happening, individuals might find themselves fixating on the future event and potential outcomes. Something could go wrong or have a negative consequence. And then when there's situational stress, this is a type of stress is triggered by specific situation that are out of our control. This happens in the moment. It can often arise when individuals are triggered by a situation they can't control, such as conflict, unexpected bill, or family emergency. And then lastly, encounter stress. This is a stress related to interactions with other people. It could be due to a difficult relationship, a conflict, or dealing with people who drain your energy. This type of stress can lead to fixating on specific future encounters and can lead to avoiding specific encounters. Melissa?
Sorry, looking for the mute button. So common type of stressors, we all have unique stressors, unique kids, unique types of stress, everything from dealing with challenging behaviors to high medical care costs, socializing limitations, the isolation that comes with being a parent of a child with special learning needs, locating respite care. I mean, that's been impossible for us to navigate when my child was younger. These are all different themes that parents encounter. There's income fluctuations, or many times one parent or both will have to leave their job or reduce their work hours to care for their child. There's navigating insurance, networks, medical systems, advocating for our child's needs. Um, Getting used to fighting for your child's needs is something that my first advocate told me to get prepared for. She was right. It seems that like everything that our kids will grapple with, we will fight to make sure that they have. And that's with any parent, but I think that advocating for our child's needs is unique in that we are constantly always looking for the best for our child because we want to make sure that they have all the resources that they need. Next slide. Okay. Other common stressors include worrying about your child's access to appropriate education and support services. So kind of like what I was saying before, the impact on relationships that it can have with your partners or in marriages, with siblings, with extended family, concerns about the future, the physical strain of caregiving and balancing work and home and your own personal needs can also all add to stress. So
Yeah, sorry.
go ahead.
There you
So
go.
when we look at what is stressing us the most, take a moment to reflect on what is stressing you right now. Sometimes stress sneaks up on us as just out of nowhere. Sometimes it's like shouting right in our face. Either way, getting clear on what is stressing us out, whether it's something specific or just a heavy mix of everything, can really make a difference. And it makes all the difference in when we figure out how to get to the root of it and we're in a better place to solve it. Nipsey.
If you're stressed, you may feel irritable, angry, impatient, wound up, overburdened, overwhelmed, anxious, nervous, a ton of different feelings, honestly. Um, your thoughts can race, you can't turn them off. Uh, you're unable to enjoy the things that you used to enjoy. You're unable to enjoy yourself, your own company. You may feel depressed, uninterested in life. You might not even go outside if you're stressed. So, um, if you're stressed, you might feel like you lost your sense of humor. You have a feeling of dread, worriness, tense, uh, neglected, meaning like your hair can be matted or you may need a shower. Things like that happen when you're overwhelmed and battling your own mental health. Um, so physical signs of stress would include blurry eyesight or sore eyes, sleep problems, fatigue, muscle aches, headaches, chest pains, high blood pressure, indigestion, heartburn, constipation or diarrhea, feeling sick, dizzy, fainting, sudden weight gain or weight loss. I might also add migraines, headaches. Signs of stress also include like overeating or undereating. And yeah, there's lots of different ways that stress can present itself in your life. Like you can also have panic attacks. That's a physical symptom.
Melissa.
Yeah, so recognizing some of the physical signs of stress can also include things like rashes or itchy skin. I mean, sometimes I not intentionally, but like sometimes I get hives right around my neck. And those are like stress, or I used to think that they were heat rashes, but they're stress reactions. You can also get very sweaty. You can have changes to your period or your menstrual cycle, or your moods might fluctuate very quickly. You can be hot and cold in the same moment. Existing current problems. So like I also, like Nipsey had said, I get migraines. They might get exacerbated if you are someone with acid reflux. That might also get worse the more you're stressed, the more that you're exposed to stress. Those current health conditions tend to increase or rev up as well. You can also have, as Nipsey said, panic attacks or difficulty breathing, feeling very short of breath for no reason. So being aware of these different signs of stress can help you manage your stress, or can be cues to help you understand, like, hey, what is going on? This is one of those things that I need to be aware of so that I can help reduce some of those signs.
And then Nancy. You're on mute.
Sorry.
Mhm.
If you feel stressed, it may make you find it hard to make decisions on your own. You might have a hard time concentrating or remembering things. I know I forget a lot of stuff. Um, your memory may feel slower than usual. You may constantly feel worried or have feelings of dread. You may snap at people. You may bite your nails, pick or itch at your skin, grind or clench your jaw. If you feel stressed, it may make you eat too much or too little, like I said earlier. Um, it may lead you to some habits like smoking or use of recreational drugs and alcohol more than you usually would. It may make you feel restless, like you can't sit still. Um, you may cry often or feel tearful. You may spend too much money on, you know, stuff that you don't really need. And you may not exercise as you normally would or exercise too much. But ultimately, like if you feel stressed, you will withdraw from people.
This is just a visual of how stress affects your body. As mentioned, like headaches, increased blood pressure, rashes, muscle tension. I know I clenched my jaw and we were like curl my toes that I'm in a lot of pain, tired, and dry mouth. So, how does stress respond? How does your body respond to stress? I was saying that um, I clench my feet and my jaws, and then I'm really sore. I don't know if you guys, Lindsay or Melissa, want to share how you're.
Oh, I get all of these things. All of these things happen to me all the time.
I suffer from migraines almost daily now. It's due to a lot of stress and anxiety and worries about things that I can't really control. So,
So there's three types of stress. There's acute, episodic acute stress, and chronic stress. So acute stress is usually brief. Episodic acute stress is short term but frequent, and then chronic stress is prolonged. So in acute, it's a heightened state of tension that quickly passes. It's a severe or intense reaction to a challenging situation, event, or demand. The stress is triggered by an outside event. The trigger can be something relatively small, like approaching deadline, or a traumatic event, such as a car accident. The stress is short term, meaning the body and emotions generally return back to normal relatively soon. The body quickly reacts to the situation, and it's done reacting once the situation has passed. And then episodic acute stress, it's frequent or constant occurrence of acute stress, such as frequent job changes or relationship conflicts, where an individual regularly experiences high levels of stress. With this type of stress, individuals don't often get a chance to return to their calm and relaxed state. This high frequency acute stress makes it feel like you're going from one emergency to another, making it increasingly difficult to relax. And then lastly, chronic stress is high levels of stress for a long period of time. It is a form of stress that feels and is constant and inescapable. People who experience the stress feel constantly overwhelmed and pressure. The stress lasts for weeks, months, or even years. Here's just a simple stress of when you're relaxed, acute stress, and long-term stress. So your brain is calm when you're relaxed, and acute stress, you better concentration and enhanced memory, faster reflexes, and then long-term stress, you have headaches, migraines, tremor, confusion, and depression, anxiety. Another example would be skin in relaxed state, clear, normal, and acute, blotched, cool, or sweaty, and then long-term stress is dryness, rashes, paralysis, and eczema. So the questions to ask yourself is, how often do I experience feelings of stress? And do these feelings of stress subside? So the stages of stress is alarm, resistance, and exhaustion. When you understand the different stages of stress and how your body responds to these stages, it's easier to identify signs of chronic stress in yourself. So understanding these different responses and how they relate to each other might help you cope with stress. We'll go over each one in the next slides. So alarm stage, it is your initial response to stress. It's your flight or fight response. Either you are fleeing or fighting to protect yourself from danger. Your heart rate increases, your adrenaline glands release cortisol, a stress hormone, and you receive a boost of adrenaline, which increases your energy. Physical signs will be dilated pupils, increased heart rate, rapid breathing, trembling, pale or flushed skin, and a heightened sense. Most of the symptoms of alarm response most symptoms of the alarm response stage disappear or reverse in the next stage, which is resistance. So in the resistance stage, your body tries to repair itself after an initial shock of stress. Your body releases a lower amount of cortisol, and your heart rate and blood pressure begin to normalize. Although your body enters a recovery phase, it remains on high alert for a while. If the stressful situation is no longer present, you can overcome the stress and your body continues to repair itself until the hormone level, heart rate, and blood pressure reach a pre-stress state. And then in the resistance stage, some stressful situations continue for extended periods of time. If you don't resolve the stress and your body remains on high alert, it eventually adapts and learns how to live with higher levels of stress. In the stage, the body goes through changes that you're unaware of in an attempt to cope with the stress. Symptoms is feeling of fear, anger, sadness, frustration, stomach problems, change in appetite and energy, headaches, body pain, trouble concentrating. It's essential for your body to repair and recover during the resistance stage. If the resistance stage continues for too long of a period without pause to offset the effects of stress, this can lead to exhaustion stage. An exhaustion state is the result of prolonged or chronic stress. You're enduring stresses without relief. It drains your physical, emotional, and mental resources to the point where your body is no longer able to cope with the stress. So you may give up or feel hopeless. Signs are fatigue, burnout, decreased tolerance, depression, or anxiety. And this will weaken your immune system, create high blood pressure, increase your risk for heart disease, put you at risk for other stress-related illnesses. Um, Enduring stress has physical and mental effects on the body, and the more your body goes through the stages of general adaptation, the greater risk for long-lasting negative effects. It's not possible to eliminate every stressor, but it's important to find ways to cope with the stress. And knowing the signs and the stage of stress can help you take appropriate steps to manage your stress level and lower your risk of complications. So, how we take care of ourselves. Sorry, we want to decrease the effects of stress. We want to do that by practicing self-care, the proactive steps individuals take to preserve and improve their physical and mental emotional well-being. Self-care fills your metaphorical cup, which also gives you emotional and physical energy you need to take care of others. Melissa, you want to do this one? So I'm talking.
There's types of self-care. There's different ways we can utilize self-care in different areas. So there's physical, social, personal, emotional, spiritual, spatial, financial, work. I didn't realize there were so many areas to take care of yourself in. Obviously, it's not my strongest point where I take care of myself. But in the next slide, creating a physical self-care plan, we want to do things that are essential for managing stress. So we start by assessing our current situation and identifying those needs. You can brainstorm different activities that help you meet those needs and set clear, achievable goals and schedule your self-care activities. That was really helpful for me. I actually put it in my calendar. So some of these physical self-care things would be like staying up to date on your regular doctor's visits. I have to go see my neurologist quite frequently for my migraines, so making sure I attend all of those meetings and I'm not rescheduling or putting off or missing appointments. Also, doctors and dentists. So I've been going to the dentist for the past 3 weeks, getting the dental care caught up. And it's because I don't like the dentist, but like it's also a sign that like if I don't take care of this stuff, everything starts to back up and then I'm not taking care of myself. And as Sarah mentioned, that metaphysical cup, we need to make sure our cup is staying full. Eye doctor appointments, I'm getting new glasses soon, so that's exciting too. It also makes you feel better about yourself when you are taking care of yourself. Like I feel great with my teeth being addressed and my new glasses coming and making sure that my doctors know what's going on with my symptoms and anything like that. Getting between 8 hours, I would say 8 hours for me. I don't need 8 hours, but 8 hours is a good of good solid sleep is a great way to take care of yourself. Moving your body every day for exercise, even if it's just walking or playing with your child during the day. Eating healthy and nutritious meals. I am not great at this, but I also don't like fast food. So sometimes for me, it's just not engaging in like McDonald's that day. But everybody's is different and everybody gauges it differently. That's just one way I do it. There's also probiotics or multivitamins. My husband believes a lot in like probiotics and having all the right amount of nutrients and minerals and vitamins. I'm more like Western medicine, so I'm like making sure I make my doctor's appointments is really like the emphasis that I put on my self-care. Uh, Next slide. There's also things like staying hydrated. Staying hydrated. Having a good long hot shower or bath. I used to use this to like find ways to get a break from my kids when they were toddlers. I have twins. So when toddlers as twins was just like, I'm going to take a shower. And it wasn't necessarily cleaning the entire time. Sometimes I just needed to sit in there and just decompress. Practicing some deep breathing, body scans is a good meditation. Sunlight, just going outside, taking a walk in the sunlight. We're not meant to be alone in the dark. We're not creatures that way. We need to be out amongst our people and we need to be out in the sunlight, getting that sunlight every day, which is why I think I've always been fascinated by this. People in Alaska, why they struggle with depression sometimes is because they have that 6 months of day, 6 months of night. And spending time in nature, that's one really easy way. Just make sure you're out and about. We like to go and do hiking in the spring. I like camping and I like camping in the fall. Sometimes we do skiing or snowboarding in the winter, just having that time outdoors. And you can get all this stuff done simultaneously as well. You don't necessarily have to do like today I get sunlight, tomorrow I get exercise, the next day I do my probiotics. You can do all of this stuff like very quickly, very easily every day. So monitoring your progress is just as important as making sure that like it's not a one size fits all approach to everything. Uh, yeah, this is okay. So resources for social self-care. So social self-care involves fostering healthy connections in your life. This means friends, family, and just like a support network. So a lot of the support network that I currently have is a lot of other parents, which is a great, great, great way to make friendships and build support and build a network for your child as well. Things like this could also be like setting healthy boundaries, things like telling my mom, like, no, you're not gonna do this when I want to do this with my child. Like, we're not going to give out candy before dinner. Like those are different ways that you can enforce healthy boundaries. Um, Sometimes we have to say like, no, we won't be attending events that are not sensory friendly. Can feel uncomfortable, but sometimes it's about building that self-respect and having those boundaries that make you feel comfortable. It's a way of getting your needs met as well. Communicating your needs is another thing. You deserve to be honest about what you need, even if it's just that you need someone to listen. After a long week of IEP meetings and therapy, sometimes saying, I just need a break tonight is not a selfish thing. Sometimes it's necessary. Asking for help when you need it. I'm sure all moms are guilty of not asking for help when we need it, but reaching out for help doesn't make you weak. In fact, it shows you're quite wise and knowing your limits. Maybe sometimes it's asking a friend to do things like pick up groceries when your child's in the middle of a meltdown, or saying, I can't leave the house right now. Those are different ways that you can ask for help. Saying no is really hard for me. Saying no protects your peace of mind. You might feel guilty about turning it down, but there's always going to be another play date, another PTA request. Sometimes the best thing you can say is, not right now, not today. Then there's curating your social media. What this means is like when we scroll through different things, it impacts how we feel. If following certain accounts make you feel less than or uncomfortable, it's okay to mute or unfollow people on social media. You don't need constant reminders of what your child should be doing. And that was a lot of the thing that I encountered because my friend had her daughter the week before I had my son. So there was a lot of comparison, and seeing that on social media play out was really hard sometimes. So I had to put Facebook on the shelf for a long time. Then there's building your village. I talked about this, building a village, finding others who really understand and get what you're going through, whether it's through support groups or even Facebook communities or therapy. These can lift a big weight off of you that you may not have even realized you were carrying.
And then Nimsy.
Personal self-care, setting goals. Um, it's really important to not self, set personal goals that are attainable. You don't want to reach for the stars and then, disappoint yourself down the line when you can't reach that goal. So let's set attainable personal goals. Identify your personal values, what matters to you. Find what you like and don't like, and do things that you like more often. Complete necessary tasks like, appointments, going to all your appointments, like Melissa said. Let go of unnecessary tasks like, I don't know,
Dusting.
dusting. Yeah, who needs to dust? Um, appearance. Let's brush our hair, let's brush our teeth, let's put on clean clothing, and participate in hobbies. Start painting again. Start riding your bike if that's what makes you happy, draw, play guitar, something, so just go back to things that used to make you happy when you were younger and do those things. Emotional self-care. So creating and using healthy coping skills, practicing self-compassion. Give yourself grace. You deserve it. Eliminate unnecessary stressors. Take time to de-stress. Drink that cup of coffee in the morning and ignore the world. um, Make space for difficult emotions. Unplug from tech and social media. I do that at least like once a month, like a social media detox, just to give myself some time to not absorb what everyone else is going through and just, focus on what I need to focus on. Um, you also need to spend time with yourself, by yourself. That's really important because that's how you find out what's truly important to you and what you like and what you don't like. Um, Journaling is also a great way to hone in on your feelings, get your thoughts in orders, and things like that. And speaking to a therapist will be beneficial as well for you, because they're a non biased professional listening in to see how they can help you um, feel better. And then write down positive affirmations where you can see it first thing in the morning, like on your phone screen or something, on a sticky note on your desktop before go log into work. Just have some positive affirmations, somewhere in the house. Spend some time in nature for spiritual self care. Um, Go to a place of worship, attend spiritual services, read spiritual texts, anything that brings you closer to what you believe in. And uh, praying also helps. Yoga is a form of meditating. So I would say you can do yoga. Um, you can map out your core values, dedicate your time to self reflection, and practice mindfulness. Oh, there goes meditating. Um, you can meditate. It's so helpful to just, breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, and just let go of what does not need to be held on to.
Melissa.
Yeah, I like what Nipsey was saying. I have these like little cards. I bought a deck of affirmations. Oh, can you even see it? So I bought a deck of affirmations and I hang them all over my computer. And as much as I like really think, oh, that's so hokey, it really does help. It's really nice. It's especially encouraging to have something to start your day off with. So I have like a card deck and I flip one over every single morning. Today was I am my own cheerleader. So those things I think they go a long way. So spatial self-care is things like um, related to the space that starts with living and working and where you feel safe, both physically and emotionally. So that could be different things like safe living or working environment, like making sure that my office doesn't have like sharp objects, just kidding, all over the place. Making sure that it's somewhere that I'm comfortable with. You can't see it, but I have different lights hanging all over because I like that there's a lower lighting. That also reduces my stress. Organizing my workspace, cleaning and decluttering spaces. There's the Pomodoro method where they set a timer and you just clean up one area for as much as you can for that time period. And that's been helpful for me. It's new, something that I'm trying, but it's working in some areas. Some areas it's needs work still. There's decorating your space to fit your personality. I'm sure that my workspace is different from Sarah's, is different from Nimsey's. So you just make it your own. Mine's got a lot of these cards lying around now, but it's also got a lot of colorful and painting, and my kids' pictures and drawings are on there. There's also exploring somewhere new. So I'm not exploring somewhere new necessarily, but we're going to different places and we're trying different things in those areas. So I have a goal to try horseback riding in the park where we used to go hiking last year. And then there's traveling. I like traveling. I not a big fan of traveling with kids all the time because sometimes that adds to the stress, but traveling is a really, really nice thing to do just to like even check off your bucket list. And it's a nice way to explore things. And everything's in a nuance, so you can explore it in a different way too. Financial self-care involves taking care of our money, and cultivating a healthy relationship with money is essential for our mental health. It aims to eliminate stress and anxiety from our lives. And some of the ways to do that are listening to financial or money related news. Sometimes that gives me anxiety, but sometimes it's also nice to know that my stock is doing well. So tuning into short, helpful financial news while like folding laundry or driving or staying informed doesn't have to be overwhelming. It just keeps you feeling empowered. Investing in your future, even if it's a small step like opening a savings or an ABLE account, are powerful ways to invest in your child's future. Setting financial goals for the year, give your money a purpose, whether it's saving for summer camp or finally tackling that emergency fund, or clear goals to help you guide your choices where you're working on financially. Using a money app is also another way to do things. They can help you track your spending and help identify different areas where you're maybe overindulging or areas that you could be working on to save more. There's saving each month. We started out with, I think I said $2 every week. Like $2 is automatically put in my savings every single week. And then slowly over time, I increased it. Now we have like a nice little money egg for like when we do go on vacations or things crop up around the house, like if the hot water heater breaks, things like that. Um, Financial debt, facing it head on can feel very heavy. But making a plan to deal with it, like I just mentioned, even one phone call at a time can take a huge weight off of your shoulders. Writing money affirmations, my husband does this. He writes himself checks for large, obscene amounts of money. But it's about like writing these affirmations and speaking kindly to yourself about money. Things like, I'm capable of saving and financial security for my family, because you are. You can. Work self-care has to do with how we relate to ourselves in our workspace and our work environment. So this could include not responding to emails or text messages after a certain hour. Protecting your off hours helps you recharge and keeps work from bleeding into every corner of your life. Not doing work tasks after a certain hour, so making sure that your personal time matters, and clocking out means giving yourself permission to rest without feeling guilty about it. Taking breaks or lunches, even a short break or a quiet lunch, can just reset your mind and body. And this can be especially helpful when days are nonstop. I used to work as a nurse, so we would never take lunch. We would take lunch on the go. And when it's constant like that, it starts to build even on stressors that maybe you didn't realize were already building. Time management is being intentional with your time, lets you focus on what really matters and reduces the overwhelm that can come from trying to do everything all by yourself all at once. And negotiating your needs. So this is like a pay versus benefits. Advocating for fair pay or benefits isn't just practical. It's a form of self-respect and sustainability. Recognizing burnout, noticing the signs of burnout early gives you a chance to pause, reset, and ask for support before hitting a wall, and then being in a place where you need to tax into more resources that you probably could have been able to recuperate from had you asked for help or recognized some of these burnout symptoms earlier.
Now we're gonna talk about finding a balance of self-care. So there's two models, Maslow's hierarchy of needs and the Swiss cheese model. We'll go over both. Um, so the levels of Maslow's hierarchy of needs is physiological. Are my basic needs being met? The most basic needs for survival, including water, food, shelter, warmth, rest, and health. And then the next level is safety. Do I feel safe? Need for physical safety and order, including home, employment, income, and health, predictability, and control in our lives. The next level is belonging. So, do I belong? The need to feel accepted as we are and the desire to feel a sense of belonging to a group. And then the next level is esteem. Do I feel confident? The need for achievement, independence, self-respect, and respect from others. And then lastly, there's self-actualization. Am I living my best life? Desire to accomplish all that you can and unleash all your potential. So individuals must satisfy the lower levels needs before they can ascend to higher levels. So satisfying daily needs before getting to belonging. However, it is important to know that in real life, experiences are not always as linear as going through daily needs, safety, and so on. Um, as the hierarchy implies, people often navigate multiple needs simultaneously. But recognize the importance of self-care at each level of the hierarchy will help you better navigate the complexities of your life and foster resilience. So maybe you're not going in a linear direction, but you can address each need in each level. So some strategies align with Maslow's hierarchy of needs: physiological, drinking water, taking a walk, good night's sleep; safety, sticking to a schedule, listening to calm music; belonging, put dates with your friends in your calendar, share meals without distraction; esteem, utilize a growth mindset, talk to yourself like you talk to loved ones, so using positive self-talk; and self-actualization, choose the work you love and challenge yourself with personal goals. And here's just another visual of hierarchy of needs. Again, it's not always gonna be linear. You might be addressing safety and belongingness at the same time, but just make sure that you're addressing each level of your needs with self-care. The Swiss cheese model of self-care refers to how there are holes in every method of our self-care, just like a piece of Swiss cheese. So one method is never going to meet all your needs and take care of all your stress. But if you layer enough kinds of self-care, eventually you'll be fully covered. Each habit or activity represents a single slice of Swiss cheese. A slice of Swiss cheese by itself, again, that's a lot of stress and overwhelm through, given that it possesses a lot of holes. So think of like just the top level, a single slice of cheese. But if you stack multiple slices over each other, one by one, the holes will get covered because of how they're positioned differently on each slice. So while a simple meditation session might not do your mental and physical health justice, combining it with healthy boundaries, support from friends, um, relaxing walks outside, you've got yourself a solid foundation. The more layers you add to your support system, the better you're able to tell when to employ each one. Excuse me, the easier it will be to utilize self-care effectively. So we're not using one just method of self-care, we're using multiple, so we don't have any holes, and we have a solid foundation. So creating a self-care plan, we're gonna assess our current situation, um, identify needs, brainstorm activities, um, setting clear, achievable goals, schedule self-care activities, and monitor your progress, adjusting as necessary, and seeking support when needed. So when it comes to self-care plans, there's not like one size fit all option. We all have different needs and strengths and limitations. Self-care strategies that work for me may not work for someone else. So these steps that I just talked about will help you build a plan that's just right for you. So when you're accessing your current situation, you want to reflect on your lifestyle, identify areas you feel most stressed and depleted. Maybe these are areas such as social connection or sleep. You're going to identify your needs. So determine what specific self-care are most important to you. Where do you need more support or improvement? And be specific what you need to feel balanced and fulfilled. And there are brainstorm activities to meet your needs, list activities that you can help you achieve your goals, only include activities you enjoy and find meaningful, as they will make it easier to include them in a routine. So I do not enjoy running, so running would not be um, part of my self-care plan. Um, I enjoy going for walks, or being outside in my backyard, so that would be part of my care plan. And you're gonna set achievable goals. So ensure your goals are specific, measurable, realistic, and take into account your current lifestyle and commitments. So obviously, like for me in the morning routine, I'm not going to be able to do like set 30 minutes of doing a self-care. I might need to do like 5 minutes of meditation because I'm getting everyone ready for school. So know your lifestyle and make it realistic. And schedule yourself activities. Bring your chosen activities into your daily or weekly schedule. Be intentional about carving out time for self-care, just so you would at any other important appointment. You can set a timer on your phone, put it in your schedule, put the plan in your fridge, and then monitor your progress and adjust as necessary. So regularly reflect on your self-care, what's working well, what challenges you're facing, make changes to your plans as needed, and then seek support when needed. So share your self goals with friends or family members who can offer support, encouragement, and accountability. If you're struggling to meet your goals, consider seeking help from a professional. And tips for creating a self-care plan: start small. The key is to forming new habits. It's your small and gradually increase complexity or duration of your self-care activities. So again, if your self-care goal is meditation, then you're starting maybe 5 or 10 minutes a day, and then you can increase it as you're successful. Again, include activities that you enjoy. They should be self-care activities that bring you joy and relaxation. So, again, like running or going to the gym, like if that's not something that's going to make you feel better, then find another self-care activity. Set reminders on your phone, write them in your planner. Be flexible, life happens. So if you miss a self-care activity, don't be too hard on yourself. Look for ways to adapt your plans and have a long-term mindset. So set self-care may or may not feel good in the moment. Not all self-care looks like a spa day. When considering what self-care habits may be important for you, think about long-term benefits you'll get out of each action. Again, like, so part of my self-care is going to a yoga class. Getting up to do it does not feel fun, but once I'm there and afterwards, I feel really good. Keep it fun, experiment with different activities, keep your routine fresh and exciting. The more you look forward to self-care time, the more likely you're to prioritize it. Reflect on your progress, take time to reflect on how your self-care routine is impacting your life. Notice any improvements in your mood, stress levels, overall well-being to motivate you to continue. And if you could also do this in a journal, like do a mood tracker or track your self-care. So here are resources for self-care. There's a self-care challenge, um, ways to practice self-care with worksheets and ideas. More self-care worksheets, a quiz for what kind of self-care do you need right now, and a planning guide for self-planning. Here's our references. Yeah, and then so if you want individual peer-to-peer support, or you know a family or a friend that needs support, you can contact Shu, a program manager. That's her email and phone number. You can also go to visionforequality.org and go to their programs, and you can find the Philadelphia support projects. Again, you'll get this recording and PowerPoint. Thanks for joining us.
Nipsey just texted me.
Oh wait, hold on, I didn't stop recording. Wait, did I?